So this was best of week 2, keeping it moving, or is that week 4? That's best of week 4.
This is why you need a visual dialogue.
It's there. I just had to read it. So getting towards...
like, this is week what? Week... No, I don't know what week this is.
You know, as someone who's starting and trying to commit a certain amount of time to this, like a couple hours per week, I think that there's a lot of lessons that I'm learning, and I just want to share those lessons. So if anyone else wants to get into this, or if you're like intimidated by it, you can see that there are paths that you can take to learn how to fly FPV drones, and that you don't have to be like super skilled right out the gate. But as I've just continued to try and fly for at least an hour a week, I have gotten considerably better, but still not good. The weekend of week 6 for me, not that that really means anything, but I had been flying a little bit longer, and Steven came to visit for the weekend up for a conference, and so we had some time to go to a park, and I just wanted to show him what I was learning. I think a skill that I should have as someone who wants to learn how to fly a drone and do it to build community and possibly to help people's businesses is being able to follow something. I think the first clip I ever saw of a drone following a drift car is what really got my interest peaked. So being able to do that at some point in the future, I think would be super cool. I have friends who are into motorsports. I'm personally into it, but not financially into it. So it's kind of like combining two interests that I have. I told Steven, you take your DJI drone, which is a GPS based drone, which means it basically flies itself. To control this Trello, you just need your cell phone, so you don't need all the fancy setup that I have. But I just wanted him to fly in a straight line so I could fly behind him. It actually ended up being an oval, but you can see in this clip, I think he comes from my left. Yeah, so that's Steven flying in his drone. Like, I don't know, when I was flying this, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I got some semblance of a shot. As I like quickly watched this in review, I was like, yeah, like I definitely followed him for a second. As I'm watching this now, like just thinking about the levels of like, if I wanted to follow a drift car, what I'd have to do. And then like, I hope that
I think it's so funny because after this, you were like, oh, we're good. I was like, you didn't even follow me.
No, I didn't record. So there was a couple of shots that were actually good that I didn't actually record because I'm dumb. But I hope that one day I get to the point where I can follow a drift car and then I can show like where it started and where it's at. That's like a meme format that's going.
That's why I said like the leveling up of these challenges. Like, you have an idea.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so hilarious. All right, so just to talk you guys through, there's a fire hydrant over here that we're like, all right, we'll start here. And again, just like my flying and ability to get the drone where I want it to be is like decent at this point. My ability to control like what the camera is pointing at and have like understanding of space and being able to follow something, this was maybe like our 3rd attempt, so it's pretty tragically bad. For now, again, like in reviewing this, I'm learning myself, so it's not completely just to show you guys how bad I am. Like, this is for my own education as well. But I should have really gone into the road and faced where Steven was about to go, because his plan was to fly like from this area. This is a fire hydrant. I know it doesn't look like it on film, but this is where he was starting, maybe like more in this area, and then he was going to fly this way back to where we had just taken off at this picnic table. So why I'm positioned myself here was not thought about. It was just like, I just need to be able to see the fire hydrant, and hopefully I'll get a glimpse of his drone. I mean, this is about the quality that I'm seeing, so it's not like I have a high definition like camera or anything either. So it's pretty hard to see. But as this goes on, you can kind of see the shadow here, but with all this like video footage breakup and all this kind of stuff. But then you can see it pretty clearly if I'm above it, because it has a white top. So I'm like, okay, like again, if I was following from behind, I could have like matched his speed and not been going up and down in the air and trying to like
where that red mark would be very helpful, because
track. The mouse is just not cutting it.
I can't even see it, and I know what we're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, it's extremely hard to see even on my nice big monitor here. So I lose Steven, and I'm essentially flying backwards at this point because I hadn't thought about like actually moving and following him. I was just like, I just need him in frame. And then I was like, all right, go ahead, like start. So I lose Steven. This is us sitting on the picnic bench. Steven just flew right in front of us. And so he's like directly behind me 180 here. So I'm like, oh shoot, like I need to flip around. And I'm like, whatever, 6 feet from him, but I'm lucky I didn't like hit him at this point. Like, oh, great, like I'm seeing him, but I also need to not crash into the ground because I'm sideways and probably full throttle at this point. So I catch myself, I like kind of keep him in view. So there's like some glimpses of, you know, being able to control the drone. I would not say that this is like good follow footage or anything, but it's showing that like I can.
The parts that you stop, it makes it look like you actually are doing something. As soon as you hit play, it's like, oh, this is a hot mess.
Yeah, it's just all over the place. So that's what I was like, in my head, this is what I was trying to do, like just get close, and I like took this snapshot and like mentally I was like, okay, I'm following him, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still flying this drone, so I need to like pull up and do all this crazy stuff. So this second part, I was lucky I didn't hit him. This is kind of what I wanted to happen. Like go spin basically again, like 180 because he's flying directly past me, and then end up right behind him. I just did it in a way that it's like way closer than I could have planned. So I almost take him out of the air again. And then if I was just a little bit lower, I would have been able to like see where he was going. And I think you actually crashed on that one.
Yeah, the wind blew me into the fence.
Into the fence. So he actually had to get up and go get it. We can start this over, but this is not impressive at all. And this is what I was proud of at Week 6. I would be ecstatic if I can even put on the headset and see Steven's drone. And that's basically what I accomplished. So as the first challenge for being able to follow...
In my definition of following is completely different.
Yeah. Well, for the first challenge to be able to like follow someone, I would say like just put the headset on. If you can see them, count that as a win. That's basically what I did here. And I'm laughing and like this is very silly, but like actually for my confidence as a drone pilot, I felt way better. That's why I told Steven, I was like, oh, we got this, like there's no problem.
Yeah, let me preface this a little bit. I think before we went, the idea was this is not going to work at
we knew that this wasn't going to work.
So I think I'm expressing it from a more humorous standpoint, where I go like, to me, it was funny that you said that. It was like when we started, our expectation was 0. So to see like that you did it at all and called it a success, and me then seeing that you could do it and then called it following, I was just like, oh, we're completely different. I think we both started the same place. Like this isn't going to work at all, but it just would be interesting to see if we could do this, period. And then you did get it in view. I would say you followed it, but the idea was like to follow me. So when you were like, oh, we nailed it, I was like, I don't think, first of all, I don't think I flew in any kind of pattern that you could follow, so that was already a loss. And then the fact that you like kind of saw me twice in this video was like, okay, he called that a win. But it is
so funny.
The perception of not being able to do this at all to what we did, I do think we accomplished what we set out to do. You did follow me, even though this is not good. I'm in the view most of the time. It's left, right, center, up, down, but
oh, it's so funny. This is my funniest part of the day. So this was right after Steven did actually crash into the fence and had to climb the fence to grab the drone.